Hello, welcome back to another Ruffa Sports Cards video. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the best places to buy and sell sports cards for the beginners, and also maybe to give you some new ideas that you should be taking advantage of if you are a more renowned seller of sports cards. So the first one, by far, hands down, the best place to buy and sell sports cards, well, I would say more sell sports cards than buy, would be eBay. I bought personal collection stuff for myself off of eBay plenty of times. Sometimes you can find really good deals on there, some smart buys and all that, depending on the season and all that, or to flip to grade potentially, but you have to really find the right people on eBay to buy from in order to grade, because some people will look to grade themselves and will only sell the non-gradable ones on eBay. Just the risk you take by buying on eBay for grading stuff. You can't look at it in person and all that, and you have no idea if the card will get a 7, an 8, or 9, or if it will even grade lower than that. But you also could get a 10 if you are lucky enough. So this one is very prominent, and one of the reasons why people are straying away from all this low-end stuff, but why I think it's a perfect time to get into low-end cards. I mean, you can find Kurt Warner stuff in value bins, numbered, Hall of Fame, 2-time MVP, literally great story of Kurt Warner. And here's where you can also get more into the higher end stuff, but there's still the opportunity, great opportunity of low end right now because of resellers, or because of repackers, and you can also sell and buy from resellers too. I wouldn't recommend, just off of my own experience, to go for breaks or repacks. Just off of my own experience, I'd rather go to vendors or resellers in order to buy cards. But selling cards, repackers are amazing. There's no doubt about that. They probably, in my own recommendation for high-end stuff, they are the best. They're the #1 place to go and sell your sports cards, and you need to be taking advantage of it while it lasts. I'm hoping it lasts a long time, because right now is an amazing time to start off in the hobby. If you haven't already, you can get amazing cards. You can start and you can just exponentially grow really fast if you make the right decisions when buying and when selling sports cards. So you have resellers like me who will also pay you out for low-end cards if you don't want to put in the work yourself, or if you just don't have time. You have work, you have family, you have all these cards that you want to get rid of, but you don't have the time to put in to moving them. Then you can go to someone like me, who will buy all your low-end stuff, give you a price. You can have a good family dinner. You can take your wife out on a date, or just have some special alone time. Nothing is wrong with that. I have alone time. I'm single, so nothing wrong with being single. Make sure self-love if you are. Sorry, had to do that. But card shows and card shops would be also another great place to buy and sell sports cards. Card shows, they have their perks and their downfalls and all that too. If you're going to specifically buy at card shows, obviously you need the access to the inventory you're wanting to focus on. For me, I need value bins, I need tables just full of value bins, and I need them to be good value bins. I'm not trying to look, and I'm not trying to say anything on anyone's value bins, but these optic stuff for $1, I can't do anything with that. I even have to sell them for probably, I'm guessing I'll get 10 cents if I'm lucky, per card like this. Even for me, and I have a whole box over there. I have a whole 5-row box full of cards just like that I'd be lucky to get 10, 15 cents for. So when I'm trying to buy and I see boxes full of, Zach Charbonnet and random red, white, and blue parallels like Wes Watkins or Jalen Carter. Although Jalen Carter is a, you know, a decent one, I might be able to get 50 cents for this. But I have to be able to make money. I can't just buy these things because I think, you know, as much as I would love to and all that, you have to buy in order to make money. You have to get your money on the buy, as American arbitrage would like to say, likes to say. And then card shops are also a good place to go and buy and sell, depending on your card shop and depending on the deals also, right? The inventory that you like needs to be at that card shop. It's the same with card shows. And also, the buyers need to be at the card shop or the card show, that if you want to go and sell there, you know. But also, if you go and set up at a card show, is completely different than going and walking in with your cards. I wouldn't recommend just going to a card show and walking around to sell cards. If you're going to sell cards, I would recommend getting a table. I also have never set up at a card show, but from my experience, I barely even want to bring cards myself that I have in order to trade, just because there's not much in it for me. It seems like every single time that I do something like a trade or I sell a card, or, you know, every single time it's just low balls and, you know, like horrible trades. And it's just, I think I've had maybe like one sell, or maybe two, and even then one sell that I can think of off the top of my head that I've had that I've been super happy with at a card show. And where did that come from? It came from a repacker. So when you think of it like that too, that's why for me, number one is repackers. If you are selling right now, try to find good repackers. Or even, I wouldn't recommend this one, but you could start one yourself. I'm even considering starting one myself, just because, especially in the future, just because of the sheer amount of buying opportunities you can have. Like, I want to buy out collections and all that. Like, you know, there's certain aspects. But, all right, let's get into the next one. Here, number 4 is Whatnot. Now, there is a link down below to become and apply to be a seller on Whatnot. If you haven't already, join with that link. It'll help me out. It'll support me. And I have series, and I have series that go over cards that I sell. And here I even have inventory in front of me that I'm going to be selling on my next shows. Let me try to find a cool pile here for you guys. But I even have videos that were not available to me at my own access to start selling on Whatnot. So when considering that, you guys have more at your disposal, and especially once, you know, more people find out that you guys enjoy those videos, you know, people are going to start making more of those videos. It's just how content works on YouTube. But you're going to see a ton of people starting to make those videos in the future, potentially. Or I might be the only one, but guess where you're going to be able to find that? You're going to have a total idea of all the stuff that I recommend selling, that I love to sell on Whatnot, and then also on eBay and all that too. But this is one of those places that I wouldn't recommend getting into right away. You want to build up your collection first. You want to build up your, you know, access to your inventory, right? Unless if you already have an established like collection and all that, and like can start somewhere, or if you have, you know, a stable source of income. There's certain things, right? It depends on your situation. Totally depends on your situation for Whatnot, especially because for me, I'm really glad I got into selling on Whatnot now. I'm hoping it's going to be a really great aspect of my, you know, my business in the future. But like, man, you can get absolutely, you know, nothing for cards you thought you would have gotten a lot of money on, which in terms of, for me, I have that happen to me all the time still. I've just crossed 1,600 followers. It's like 1,630, 1,630 followers. I've sold 6,300 50 items on Whatnot, or individual orders, like individual, you know, auctions or buy it nows. So now is when I'm starting to grow it more, and it's starting to, you know, I'm getting over the slow hump, right? But I'm also realizing how to grow a Whatnot channel, which is very valuable in and of itself. That's something I want to do also on this channel, is showing you guys how to grow a Whatnot. You know, I have a bunch of series planned in the future, and I hope that you guys do enjoy them and find them beneficial to you guys, because man, I wish I would have had some of the things that I plan on doing for you guys, all about Whatnot and all that. It would have motivated me to sell on there faster. You know, I would have learned, you know, like I've spent literally, I would say there's been 2 to 3 full years of my life, like pretty much all I would do is wake up, go to sleep. In between that time, I would only every single day it was sports cards. I would watch sports card videos, I'd watch Whatnot streams, all that. I was just learning what people, you know, like in the market, what sold. Now a lot has changed since I started watching all those videos. It was literally the peak time of, you know, like this card right here probably would have sold for, like, I'm guessing $8 back then. That is how peak, like, selling wise, you would have got so much money. But at the same time, you probably wouldn't have been able to get this card for anything less than, you know, that card that sold, I said would have sold maybe for $8, right? Probably maybe 5 to 8 more realistically. But you also would have had to pay at least $3 for it. So in consideration, right, you only make $1 off of that, and you have to pay a higher, you know, cost per card. It's a lot more difficult to buy and sell and start doing all that during those times. Although you're getting a lot more per card than you would now. It's just, now you can get a lot more quality cards and, you know, help grow people's thing. And what's going to happen is you're going to build a rapport with people and all that. And, you know, people are going to come back to you. It's all about connections. It's all about building and growing. And, you know, you might lose here every now and then on some cards, especially on Whatnot, right? But if you build that rapport, now, I'm just going to leave it there. Whatnot is definitely amazing, but there's still plenty of other places to sell if that's not your cup of tea also. So you have various online platforms. So Discord, and also you could buy from Whatnot. It's just, let me just even throw that in there also, right? But that's it. Various online platforms like Discord. There's Buy Sports Cards. There's ComC, PWCC. There's the, those are all, PWCC and ComC are both consignment auction or consignment platforms. But Buy Sports Cards is amazing, like I was saying, for these low-end stuff, the stuff that no one wants, that you can literally probably get. Some people throw these cards away. That's how people just, you know. But Buy Sports Cards is an amazing platform if you want to grow something. And that was what, you know, there's three big things I would add to my repertoire if I hadn't had the 3 things. If I was starting out fresh, number 1 would be eBay. Then number 2, I would say Buy Sports Cards. And it's just off the simple principle of, like, you could go, depending on where you are especially, or, you know, depending on where you can find cards and buy cards, you can get literally, you know, thousands of cards for, you know, cheap, right? It's pretty much name your price depending on the cards and all that. But on Buy Sports Cards, they don't charge a seller fee or anything like that, so they don't have fees. There's no fees, and you get pretty much all you have to pay for is shipping, right? But the bigger and better inventory you have on Buy Sports Cards, the more and more you'll sell on there. And they're just starting, you know, it's just taking off. It's just in its early stages. So if you can get on there, build something and start it off, you know, like this, I have like a 5-row over there of just cards that I was showing, just like cheap cards that, you know, not many people, you know, like to deal with, like, you know, just like name whatever card that you think you might be able to get. You know, I might be able to get 10, 15 cents for those. But on there, the minimum you can list it as 25 cents. And if you have, you know, an inventory of 10,000 cards and you have them priced to sell, you're pricing them, maybe even like a good idea would be just everything's 25 cents on your store, right? Like, you know, obviously sometimes you want to have it more, but it's gonna be an idea that someone has. I'm sure that some people have already done it, right? But that is a huge thing you can do to grow the amount of inventory you have, especially to get into the third thing that I would add to my repertoire, which is Whatnot. It's literally the trifecta of selling sports cards would be eBay, buy sports cards, and Whatnot for me right now, especially if you add resellers, right? If you add repackers, sorry. If you add repackers, or even resellers, right? Just to intersperse them, right? The resellers and repackers, they're pretty much doing the same thing, except resellers will only do, you know, repackers are just a different form of reseller. Resellers are not repackers. It's like a circle, or a square and a rectangle, right? A rectangle isn't a square, but a square is a rectangle, or other way around, right? So there you go, right? Yeah, you can figure that out, right? And it's like 4th grade stuff, but okay. Now you have flea markets and other in-person markets. So flea markets could be a very good idea to buy or sell sports cards, depending on, you know, your location, all that. It's great for, you know, it's pretty much like if you don't have, you know, a card show you can go and set up at a flea market or a in-person market. I don't want to recommend doing I don't like the idea of, you know, showing people you have cards and doing a garage sale or a, you know, yard sale. Just not for me. I mean, obviously, we're in the United States, most of us, that do sell cards, like, you know, the majority of us are. So we do have protection, obviously, with the Constitution and all that. So, you know, obviously at your own risk, but I don't want to recommend it. But, you know, people have sold at their house, you know, in the garage sale, yard sales. But so also Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Mercari. That would include for the various online platforms, but I felt like they all needed to be mentioned separately from online platforms. And also Discord, there's an amazing server. I have a link down below to join it, an amazing Discord server. It's an amazing server. It's literally pretty much, before I went to card shows, I would get a lot of my eBay inventory, and I grew it, and, like, you know, I was starting to grow it, and that's where I got, you know, a good portion of my thing. And I also just remembered, while I was doing, like, talking, trade nights. If you haven't went to a trade night, or, you know one that's going on, you know, man, that could be a good and a potential place to find nice buys to sell. Like, the list goes on and on, man. Marketing and growing your social circle is one of the, like, the biggest thing you can do for yourself is to market and grow your own circle, right? So even if you just go to these, you know, trade nights and all that, whatever community event you can, and, you know, even if it's just to hand out a business card, right? Even if it's nothing to do with sports cards and you're just at a, you know, I would be very careful doing this, right? But this is just coming from when I was growing up with my dad, and, you know, he would have his own business card because he was a door-to-door salesman, right? He sold cable door-to-door, but that was, you know, a long time ago. He's not doing that anymore. And it's a long story, but very personal too. But long story short is, each and every time he would even walk out of the place, right, he would see somebody, you know, he would be like, you know, if he saw someone at the grocery store and they're working really, really hard, and he wanted them to be a part of his sales team, right? He thought he could be a really great salesperson. He would be like, here's my number, you know, and then he would get them a job. And that was, you know, what set my dad apart from, everyday people who were doing what he did, was his interactivity, his social level, right? And it's just being able to go out of, his own comfort zone, even though he was totally in his comfort zone every single time he did all that. But, obviously you want to be able to protect yourself and all that, right? Don't go up to somebody with, with a shirt that says, don't talk to me, or, something like that, something, if there's red flags, obviously don't go, like, and also totally be, aware of your surroundings and all that, look in your mirrors and make sure people aren't following you if you do hand out business cards and all that. But preferably when you are doing like something like that, where you are handing out business cards and all that, pretty much you just, especially older generations, right? They know their family. Their family is going to be usually typically good people, right? They're not going to, give their grandma a bad name because of, sports cards or whatever. But also, don't give away more information than you need to, right? Go and meet them at a police department. Go and meet them at even a casino would be a great idea to meet if you don't have a police department, but you have a casino near you, right? Just certain things where, think outside of the box. Don't be, easy to, don't be easy to, trust. Think, when you're thinking of things and trying to meet with people, think more than what you think you should have to, right? It's just something, and I hate that we have to, think of it like that in the world, but even back when I was growing up, we have to think about that stuff every single time, you meet someone to buy something, you go to sell something, you need to, meet them at places like the police station or the casinos. And because casinos usually typically have cameras, even from, from a certain part of the thing, like the walkway and all that. And there should always be, if you're going to meet someone that's wearing a mask in a casino, right, because COVID, ask them to take off the mask, or you're not even going to talk to them, right? Like, you at least want them to want there to be, some sort of facial, picture of them if you are going to meet with them and try to talk about money, or, buy cards from them and all that. But, you shouldn't be messed with in a casino or a police station. It'd be pretty outlandish for someone to do that. But this is very, very serious. That's very, very serious. Be extra cautious when buying and selling sports cards. But so yeah, that is all the places to buy and sell sports cards. I'm going to go over it real quick again. It's eBay, resellers and repackers, card shows, card shops, whatnot, various online platforms like Discord, buy sports cards, the consignment places like ComC and PWCC, even Golden. There's flea markets, other in-person markets, potentially if they have, like I don't know too well, like off the top of my head, another name for an in-person market. That's not a flea market, but like a pop-up shop or something like that, something or the other, right? But Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Mercari, and then trade nights. Those are pretty much interchangeable, best places to buy and sell sports cards. So definitely repackers for high-end. They are the king right now for high-end sports cards. They will cash you out in an hour, and if they're in person, right, they'll cash you out in minutes. eBay is king always for anything that you can think of. Whatnot is a great tool to add if you haven't. Link down below to join if you aren't approved to be a seller. And then Discord servers that are good, right? And I pretty much only know of one great Discord server right now, and that's Ryan's. But yeah, it's very much the places I would recommend and think that you should start off with. And I hope that this has helped at least 10 people. Hopefully, if you like this video, I hope that you decide to subscribe and join us on our journey. I think I'm just trying to grow the aspect of teaching people and all that. There's been a lot of, potentially new people getting into it again, and all that. So these videos are very necessary and all that. So appreciate you very much for watching. I hope that you have a good one. Take it easy.